Lindstrom Family Fun. Wow, right here, and away we go. Starring Diane, Karen, Ray, and Barry. That's right. This is another of my series of family home movies. Oh, and we've got other friends here too. And there they are. There's Karen on the right and Barry and another friend of theirs in our backyard at 6420 East Gary Road in Scottsdale, Arizona. And this is from the years 74, 75, and 76. And we've got kids playing and all kinds of different action. We start out with the Scrabble boards here. There's our backyard. Start out with a Scrabble board. I loved to play Scrabble back in those days. As a matter of fact, I played tournament Scrabble and I won several events. As a matter of fact, at one time, I was one of the top 200 Scrabble players in the world, I say very modestly. And I actually beat the world champion once. Ron Lundeen, my best friend, and I went to San Francisco and we played in a big tournament there. And well, we didn't, there were about 300 or 400 people that played in the tournament, and I came in 12th and Ron came in 19th, which of course I never let him forget. Scrabble players are kind of wacky people, and well, we're Scrabble players, so we're wacky too. Now we've got a bunch of little kitties out there in the backyard. I don't know where they came from. You know, we never had dogs at our house. Never could understand that. I would bring dogs home, and the next day Diane would bring them back to the pound or the pet shop or wherever they came from. One of those things. I remember we had a special deal. Oh, here's Halloween. This is Halloween of 1974. There's Barry as Spider-Man and Karen as a cat, I believe. Yes, that's probably right. And this was 74, so Barry was around 8 years old, and Karen was about 6, I think, in these days. Whoa, Spider-Man! Yes, indeed. There he is. Oh, that's not Spider-Man. That's Barry. Now, I think that this is somebody's birthday. I think this might be Karen's birthday, if I'm not mistaken. Does it look like fall, perhaps? Well, she was born in November of 1968, and this is probably November of 1974. So let's see, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74. So she would be 6 years old here, and I think she's there with her friend Julie Ellis, if I'm not mistaken, at Kittyland, and I think this is in Encanto Park in Phoenix, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, we've got some friends of Karen's, and it was a big deal. They went around and around and around. And of course, with me taking movies, you always know that they're not going to last 5 seconds, that we're going to get them going around and around and around and around and around. Why doesn't he ever quit? Is there a stop button on the movie camera? I don't think so. So happy birthday, Karen. Your big celebration, I don't know. I don't see any cakes or anything else. I don't see any cards that say happy birthday, Karen. And then all of a sudden, boop, birthday's over. And now we're in the front yard of our house, and that's Barry riding his bicycle. And I think this is fall of 1974, and I think that Barry is probably 8 years old here. Going to get a little Evel Knievel action. Now look in the garage there. We've got a Ford Elite car that I bought out at Earnhardt Ford, and next to the Elite was a odd Volkswagen that my parents drove when they were in Belgium, and they bought the car there, and they had it, and they brought it back to this country when they came here, and they gave it to Diane and said, here's your new car. And Diane always liked that. She never bought a car. She just kind of got any car that we brought home, whatever. Now, you know, in the last film that we saw, we had a big tornado and a flood that ruined this whole neighborhood. But now we're back to snuff again here, up to snuff. This is, well, how did that term, up to snuff, ever come about? I mean, did snuff really have something to do with it? If you're up to snuff, does that mean that's good? If you have a lot of snuff? I thought that snuff was actually kind of an awful thing. But I digress. Anyway, this probably is 1974. Karen is 6 or 7 years old there, and I think she's missing some teeth, as a matter of fact. Hi, sweetie pie. You ready for another adventure? Where are we going to go next? Well, I don't know. Let's see what happens here. And eating chocolate and missing teeth. Oh boy, that's good. Okay, from the front yard to the backyard. Home movies, yes? Nothing like home movies. Oh, we love those home movies. A lot of dancing involved. I think Karen used to take a lot of dancing lessons. She always liked to dance. As a matter of fact, I think now, over 40 years later, or maybe 50, not 50 years later, but over 40 years later, I think she still likes to dance. Yep. There we are in North Scottsdale. We were on 6420 East Gary Road, which was a few blocks north of Shea Boulevard and a block east of 64th Street. That's where we were. And that is Barry's fort. He built that fort out of odd scraps of lumber, and the neighbors were always complaining that he was hammering out there, which he did all the time. Go in there, and I don't know what happens from there. Every kid ought to have a fort. Now, when I was a kid, I had a fort, and I had a lot of tree forts. Oh, look at there. That's pretty slick. A lot of tree forts. Oh, now I think we're somewhere else. Could it be the Scottsdale Parada del Sol? Yes, so this is, I think if I were to guess, I think this is February 1975. Oh my gosh, do you know that that's John Conlon, who is our congressman, and he is the guy that I helped make our congressman because I had the advertising agency. My advertising agency was Lindstrom and Jet Advertising. There's Karen there. See her with the ponytails? And we handled all of John's advertising. Yes, we did. So I can say that if he was good or bad, I was either responsible or I put him in office. He was first elected in 1972 and then re-elected in 1974. And then in 1976, he decided he was going to run for the Senate. And unfortunately, he lost to Sam Steiger in the primary. And then Sam Steiger lost to Dennis DeConcini, who served for 3 terms as a senator from Tucson, Arizona, as a matter of fact, the Cocopah Mustangs. And there are the Cocopah Mustangs, and they are the school. That's the school that Barry and Karen both went to. The marching band and all that sort of thing. And over there is Rudolph Oldsmobile. Now we're in the backyard again. Oh, we have a lot in the front in the backyard. Karen's quite a ham. Looks like she looked in the parade. I think Karen is probably, did you get your teeth? Oh, she got her teeth now. Look at that. Isn't that nice? And a beautiful sunset. And from the beautiful sunset, we go to some real action here because next is the famous Cub Scout Pinewood Derby. Wow. This is over by the Scottsdale Public Library. And we all built cars. I see there's Diane there talking, and there's Julie Ellis and the Ellis kids and some other people. Oh, on the left-hand side there, see the blue and yellow car. That's Barry's car, blue and yellow for the Boy Scouts, Cub Scouts, I should say, the Pinewood Derby, and we're going to see what happens here. They come down the chute, and we're going to see what car is the best. Okay, we're going to have number 1. We're going to have the first. We're going to have the first bunch coming down here very soon. There's Karen and her girlfriend. Here we go. There's Barry putting his car up there. And we're going to see what happens. And they both go down. And let's see, Barry and I built that car. Let's go straight. Come on, come on. Here we go. Here we go. And oh my gosh, we came in second. Oh boy, that was close. Hey, I think second's pretty good. Don't you get another shot at that? Yes, we do. Okay, here we go. We're going to go again. Cars are all set. Here we go. Oh man, look at that. Came in first. Wow, that time, and this time, that time it came in third. There we go. There's Barry with his Pinewood Derby car that we built with our own 2 hands. Now from Pinewood to Pinetop, here we come. And this is, we're going up there. Oh, look at that car. Boy, I must have been doing well. We had a brand new 1976 Cadillac Eldorado. Ooh, what a fine vehicle that was, yes. Love that car, first Cadillac. And we're going up to Pinetop with the Lundeens, Ron and Carol Lundeen. And Karen took her girlfriend, and I think the girlfriend, barfed in my new Cadillac, as a matter of fact, on the way up there. Look at it. Oh, look at all the sheep going across the road. I thought that was really amazing, you know. And I think there were some Indians who were herding the sheep across the road. Now we're up at the cabin, and we're seeing a fire in the cabin. Hopefully it's in the fireplace and not burning up the cabin. But this is Ron Lundeen's and Carol's cabin up in Pinetop, I should say. And there's Barry and his friend John playing on the inner tube out there, inner tube tire swing at Pinetop. And Ron and I were there, and Carol, and I think Nancy was there, who's their daughter too. She was a little bit older. Oh, look at that nice cabin there in the woods. Yeah, we had a lot of fun up there. Ron was my best friend, and we met each other when I first moved to Phoenix in 1965, and we just hit it off. Two Scandinavian boys. He owned a hobby shop, and then he actually, there's Nancy and her girlfriend. He owned a hobby shop, the Serendipity Hobby Center, and that's how I knew him. I went in to sell him some advertising. He also owned the Acme Fence Company in downtown Phoenix. He was a great guy, he really was. Ron passed away in 2013 from cancer. But he and I were real buddies, and he was a good guy. We're going to see him pretty soon, I think, here. After we see the kids running around, I think there are some actual shots of Ron and I playing Scrabble, which is, oh, there I am. Thank you very much. Come on out here. Come on. I don't know why. Oh, there's Carol. That's Ron's wife. I think they were playing some badminton. There's John. There's Nancy. Hi, Nancy. How are you? What's going on today? Oh, they're playing Monopoly. Okay, well, that's a good game. Everybody likes Monopoly. Yes, they're playing Monopoly. Be sure to get Park Place and Marvin Gardens. Very important. And Boardwalk. Oh, we like Boardwalk. That's the most expensive thing out there. Having fun with Monopoly. And there's Karen and her girlfriend. And I think her stomach is all settled now. Yes, and the boys up there, giving the girls problems, undoubtedly. Yes, we're very strong and manly, aren't we? Yes, we are, by golly. Karen and, who is that? Who went up there with? Is that Michelle? I don't know. I think so. I'm not sure about that. I know it's Karen, that's for sure. Oh, and we had a little anger exhibit there. There's some broken glass. But we're all going to go horseback riding now. That's always a good activity up there in Pinetop. And there's Barry, and he's on his horse Jarvis. No, that's Karen. Wait a minute. That's Karen. There's Barry and his horse Jarvis. Now, we had a little accident later on. And unfortunately, Jarvis threw Barry off the horse. And he had a big bashed-in jaw, as I recall, and we had to go to the doctor. There's John getting up on his horse. Yes, well, you know, we had, there's Diane. And I don't think she's been on a horse since our honeymoon. We went horseback riding, so that's been a little while. That's about 10 years there, I think. So we're all going to go. Look at that, boy, what a bunch of great horse people. Fine horses there, if you ask me. This is before Renee came along. Renee has horses, and she knows a lot about horses. But in those days, we didn't know much about horses. There goes Diane and all of us. And I think, am I on a horse, or am I just staying back and taking movies of everybody? I'm not exactly sure about that. I may have been grounded on that event there. Okay, they're taking off. And the next scene was at the hospital. Yes, the hospital where Barry got all messed up, I think. I think he broke his jaw or something happened. But it was not a good end to our vacation in Pinetop. We had a little bit of an accident. Jarvis the horse was not kind to Barry. But anyway, I'm not sure we see Barry anymore here. Maybe we will. But we got the boys, we got the girls out there. Oh, and we're playing Scrabble. Here's Ray and Ron playing Scrabble. You know, I wonder how many thousands of games Ron and I played Scrabble. We started out playing chess years earlier, and then one day Ron says, hey, why don't we play Scrabble instead? And we got out the Scrabble board, and we never went back to chess again. And we played Scrabble. We played Scrabble all over the world. Ron was a great guy, my best friend, as I mentioned earlier. And I think I beat him more at Scrabble than he beat me. So he would always play the screwiest words, and of course you challenged, and then that was it. Here's Ron. Actually, Ron wasn't a bad golfer. As a matter of fact, he was better at golf than I was. Actually, the best golfer probably was Carol. She was terrific. She was very athletic, you know. And we had a good time up there. Oh, we're back to Ron again. Did anybody take a picture of me playing golf? Yeah, not the greatest form in the world, but here I am. Oh yes, that was. Let's take a look. Okay, here we go. Yes, that's a golf club. Yes, that's a ball down there. Can you hit the ball? That's a good question. Can you hit the ball? Hi, how you doing? What's going on here? Okay, I'm going to do it now. We're going to address the ball. Hello, ball. Oh, I guess I did hit the ball. There it goes, way down there. And we're playing golf now. Oh, yes. What would a good reel of home movies be without people actually taking part in some sport? Nice outdoor sport where you can see them well and there's lots of light and lots of action. Yes, there's Carol. Carol Lundeen. And Ron. Well, in their happy home. Well, wasn't too happy apparently, because in a few years Ron and Carol would get a divorce, and that's the way it goes. Oh, you missed it. Oh, what a tragedy. How about you, Ron? Can you get it? Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Well, they got a divorce a few years later, and that's the way it goes. And Diane and I got a divorce a few years later. So, you know, those things happen. But on this particular weekend, in 1975 or 76 maybe, I'm thinking that this was Memorial Day weekend of 1976. And the reason I'm saying that is because I think that this was the weekend that the Phoenix Suns were actually in the finals against the Boston Celtics. And that was in 1976. So I'm going to tell you, I think that this was in 1976, if I'm not mistaken. There's the whole gang out there on the porch. There's Diane, tall gal right there, and there's Carol in front of her, and John and Ron Lundeen down there. Yes, hello, Ron. How are you? Yep. And that was it. That was that great little vacation. And now I think, are we in the backyard again? Well, yep, there we are in the backyard. And there's Chris Long, along with Barry and Karen. And they're back by Barry's fort. So there we are. So I think this is 1976, and the Suns, we had Phoenix Suns season tickets for many, many, many years. And so Diane and I went to see the Suns play the Boston Celtics in the finals. And we lost in 6 games, but it was a great series, and everybody had a good time. The Suns had a great team. Those were the days of Dick Van Arsdale and Paul Westphal and Ricky Sobers and Gar Hurd, and that was that great shot that Gar Hurd shot. The shot heard around the world. You remember that? They beat Boston in that great game. Well, they actually didn't beat Boston, but it was a terrific game and a terrific series. But here we are. This is 1976, backyard. The great Lindstrom home movies. A little carpentry work. And just having lots of fun in these things, that's all. And I hate to say it, folks, but this is the end. Thanks for watching.